Hello everyone, and we are back for Game 3 between ToD as the red Protoss in the top right and TLO as the blue Zerg in the bottom left. The map, Neoplanet SLE, at least I assume it's LE because, well, let's just put it this way, I am offline. And so how I loaded this replay, what I actually did was I loaded the replay. I actually had to go into the file where my replays were and load it directly from there. As far as the game's concerned, I'm not logged on. I am not Vladerag right now. I am nobody. This is actually completely without the internet, and you know what? I am happy for it. Either way, we will not be seeing a 6 pool out of TLO today. But who knows, you may have already put ToD enough on the defensive because of that last match. Once your opponent knows you're willing to take the risk of 6 pooling, it does sort of put a damper on things, because who knows, you did it once, you can do it again. Normally you don't really expect that out of Zerg. Of course, Planet S, as I'm just taking that there. Of course, Neoplanet S is a little bit more of a rush map. The distances are a lot smaller, so Zerg tend to be a little bit more aggressive, but Protoss can be as well, as we're seeing Gateway and Gas. Once again, not scouting. Don't know if that's good. Doesn't really matter because we did see a 15 hatch out of TLO, so I guess it will work out for ToD. TLO will not be, there's too many T's, it's like ToD will not have to worry about TLO being aggressive because TLO went 15 hatch and ToD went gateway first. You see how many T's I have to say in that? It's like T. Feel like I should have time for T. Oh god, did I actually make that? That was a terrible joke. Oh god. Oh god. We are seeing a third base come down. Oh god, and now he's gonna realize that there isn't an expand here. That's going to be an issue. All of a sudden he realized maybe, I'm feeling like he should be realizing soon that maybe 3 hatches before pool was not quite the way to go, and we're seeing him take a pool and a gas. All of a sudden he's gonna realize that, yeah, this is not quite as safe as I thought. There will be an expand coming down for ToD though. That means that he isn't planning on doing anything crazy like a 4-gate. That's not even crazy to do. Actually, a 4-gate would have really hurt TLO right now. I'm not sure how he would have held it off. He's only got about a minute and a half, and his spawning pool, basically he'll be able to get lings out in time for the 4-gate, but he won't be able to get all that much. Either way, we do have a warp gate there. Depending on whether or not he will chrono that, I guess it will depend on, or it will sort of dictate the pace of this match, whether he's going for multiple gateway pressure, which once again really could hurt TLO. The only thing is that if he waits too long, these 3 bases will work heavily in TLO's favor for defending that. Early on, it's a risk. Later on, it becomes an advantage. When it comes to defense for Zerg, there's just this tipping point that happens. Either way, this game will be moving on. The chrono is on the Nexus, not on the warp gate. Who knows how that'll work out for him. We do have the Mothership Core going to be moving out. The Queens will be finishing up though soon, so that's not a real issue for TLO to worry about. Does he have a Queen? Where's his Queen here? He does not have a Queen in his main base. That's an interesting thing there. Maybe he's going for lair tech quickly. That might be what it is. And if he got the Queen, it would be problematic. Lair? No lair. Okay, I guess I'm wrong. I guess he's just not. I don't know why he only has 2 Queens. He's not really larva injecting right now. That's the thing. He's creep spreading but not larva injecting really on any of his hatcheries. Very interesting choice, not one I've really ever seen out of Zerg. And the Tickle Beam going to be tickling said rocks. I'm fascinated by this, really. We're not seeing any larva ejects out of TLO. What on earth is this? This is just, I've never seen Zerg do this. It's like, It's like Day 9's Fun Day Monday, although we do have this queen here. Definitely preparing to do that with the varmint. Where are we going to see it? Yep, there we go. There's the larva inject. Looks like he just wanted to get a couple of creep tumors out first, and we are seeing the queen being finished up here. There we go. All of a sudden it makes more sense. It was just a heavy, just a very heavy creep spread focused opening. Not really a bad idea. This extra scouting will help him deal with the early push that is going to probably happen right about now. That's what we're going to be dealing with. The pylon in the center is in danger. He does need to warp in or attempt to stop it somehow. There are going to be too many lings here to really deal with, though. Not quite enough to get that pylon, but they could turn around and attack it at any time. Only question is whether or not they'll be able to do enough damage to really deal with that. The only thing is that it looks like he sort of put on a little bit of fake pressure and is going to be heading on home to defend his third base. But can he do it, since there are going to be... Nope, there is a zealot there hiding behind that warp gate, as you can see. On my mouse, just further, there we go. I don't even know how I went to that nexus. We're going to see Ling moving out. TLO obviously realizing what is going on. All of a sudden they are going to be able to get us around here. Does he have the unit composition? Does he have enough to deal with this? The answer looks like maybe so far. It's just it's difficult to figure out. These lings are going to be continuing trying to move in. There's the force fields going to be saving it, but I feel like he missed a little bit with that sentry. He does manage to save it, however, he needs to be careful with it moving forward, and Baneling's going to be coming up and out. That will be sort of problematic for him to deal with his zealots. And this battle does continue. Of course, we have to worry. These Banelings here might be going for this wall. Does he have enough sentry energy? He does not. He only has enough energy, perhaps for 2 force fields by the time they finish. But we are seeing cannons come down. There's the Banelings, and where's the force fields? Where are the force fields? He needs to get those force fields down somehow. Oh, there is one there. And will we be seeing another force field out of him? I don't know what I do. Yep, there we go. And there's the double pylon wall off in the back. The cannons have completed. Going to be start shooting into that mass of lings and banelings. TLO doing something we've rarely ever seen on this map. Taking the gold expansion, does manage to get those gateways. They will, of course, be rebuilt immediately. Or at least one of them will. All of a sudden yep, there we go, there's the gateway. And there's a lot of lings coming out and a spire on the way. He did manage to secure his third base though. That is something that cannot be ignored. ToD got what he wanted out all of this exchange. He managed to secure his third, but at what cost, with TLO securing a fourth, and not just any fourth, but the gold. That, of course, cannot be denied. We do have Banelings and Lings. Going to be putting on a lot of pressure, really splitting these two bases up. Basically, most of ToD's army is here, but a lot of his valuable units and valuable structures are over here. Not a good position to be in, but he does have those sentries, which of course allow him to wall off against that. We are going to be seeing the Phoenix here, going to be moving out. Not really anything for Zerg to be worried about. He's going to see this, but did he see that? He did not. He has no idea this is here, and that creep spread is continuing. He will be trying to scout out this base. We'll realize there isn't one here to scout. He's probably going to have to be wondering, where is Zerg's fourth? Those two aren't warp gates, not really sure why or if it matters. What I do realize is that this game is just fascinating. TLO maintaining quite the advantage when it comes to supply over his opponent. All these links, all of a sudden, there we go. He has that base, and Muta's on the field. Look at that income. Whoa, and ToD actually keeping up fairly well, but TLO will be getting more and more as this goes on, and the Muta count just going to be rising. But we had an Archon getting formed somewhere, and all of a sudden Those Mutalisks going to be trying to work down those sentries. He needs to move the rest of his army in or he's going to lose this place entirely. There's the mass recall, but will it be enough? Because all of a sudden this base is undefended. No, it is not. It does have a couple of cannons and a wall off. It will not be enough. I do not be able to deal with all of this. Is he going to mass recall again? Yes, he will, but they're just going to run back to this other base. All of a sudden, he can't hold all these bases at once. How is he going to deal with this? He needs to somehow get in between them. All of a sudden, these are going to be heading into the mineral line. Where did all the workers go from before? It looks like they transferred to the main base. But there, all of a sudden, Ling's streaming into the main base. Are we going to see a photon overcharge? Does he have enough energy? He does not. That Nexus will be focused down rather quickly. He cannot stop it. We are seeing a battle go on over here. It will be stopped. There we go. There goes that. And all of a sudden, he really can't afford to lose the Templar Archives right now. But he does not have a choice. These Lings in the main base are going to be an issue. What happened to that Archon? Where on earth is it and what is it doing? There it is, in the front there, going to be fighting off those Lings. Really needed to be dealing with those Mutalisks, but it can't get through the wall off. That's the problem here that we are looking at. He lost 2 Nexi during that engagement. Blink Stalkers, of course, very good. There's the Archon, going to be trying to engage. Probably not the best idea to do that. They'll just Magic Box and murder it. Either way, TLO has a huge advantage here, or does he, is the question, because he has these Mutalisks, he has the bases, he has the income, but ToD has the army. Now that's the thing you always have to remember when you're dealing with Protoss, is that you might have done everything right, but all of a sudden there'll come a time when you might not be able to engage, when you simply may not be able to fight their army because you have harassment, but they have power. We are seeing the Templar Archives going to be finishing up as well as plus 3 ground weapons. I do believe they've changed the icon ever since, so I can't actually wait to see that. I haven't yet. Ooh, taking this gold as well. TLO, you boss. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, my throat gets so dry. I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. Going to be trying to attack this Nexus, but all of a sudden he's going to be losing the gold here. Now, I'm going to say if you're going to be trading base for base, trading gold for regular, not the best. Nevertheless, ToD doesn't have a heck of a lot that he can really do. He's going to be losing a lot of probes here. Way more than he can afford to lose. These mutas, this flock of mutas, just so dangerous and more on the way. He cannot afford to lose this. He at least needs to let armor finish. But he is sort of going for a base trade here. The engagement has begun. All the Archons being formed. Does he still have the one he had before? He does. This Archon is vital to him winning this match. Basically, this is a base trade situation now. His entire goal is to kill his opponent before his opponent kills him. The only question is whether or not he can do it. If he splits his army up too much, those Mutalisks can kill him. The only question is whether or not. It all hinges on this Archon if it comes to a flat-out battle, and I feel like that's what we might be seeing soon. TLO going to be engaging this as much as he can. These probes are in danger. You want to get them out of there. You have the minerals for another base. Move them somewhere. Get another expansion. Take the gold. You have a probe here sitting on the creep. Terrible place for a probe to be. All of a sudden, these Mutalisks deciding, you know what, let's just engage this flat out. Now, whether or not he can do this, he needs to bring all his forces together to fight this off. There's the probes over there. Here we go. This battle will be the final battle, deciding battle. Who wins this? Wins the game. ToD has rebuilt his base and is no longer being revealed, taking the top corner here. This battle will continue on. Spine crawlers down here going to be making an issue. Oh my god, there are so many Mutalisks. There's 38 Mutalisks on the field. He has to engage this perfectly or he will die. Oh, that one Archon is his only hope. It needs to get the perfect engagement. This battle needs to be perfect. ToD is still mining, or TLO is still mining. ToD as well, but that probe transfer will be caught by TLO, who's going to be joined after that Nexus. He needs to at least get 400 or he won't be able to do anything with it. We do have another Nexus. Nope, that is the only Nexus he has. But if TLO loses this base, if this one has been scouted too, all of a sudden TLO is in a lot of trouble. As the engagement does move in, there's the transfuses going down. Does he have more than one queen? No, he does not. There's only one queen there. The mule is flocking back. He has to be very careful about this, and I'm not even sure who I'm talking about anymore. They all have to be careful. Everybody has to be careful, and those mules are going to be probably going right for that Archon. They need to be able to stop it as soon as they can. There they go. They're going to work it down. The Archon is dead. The Archon was the only hope for those units. All of a sudden, this is going to come down to Micro. Does he believe that's a real Archon? He does not. Now focusing it down. All the Blink Micro in the world cannot save you. Just too many Mutalisks, and he runs away. He does need to, he still has a chance if he can work down the remaining Zerg structures, but can he do it? Does he have what it takes? TLO morphing in that drone, still going to be having an income. This base here getting worked down very slightly. We do have Stalkers moving out over here. Is the Templar Archive still up? It is not. ToD does not have a base, but he is still dangerous this game. He will be continuing this up. He's going to be killing that Mutalisk there. Do have probes running in over here trying to attack that ToD with the donation day, I guess. What does that mean? GG! Oh, and ToD admits his loss. This has been one of the closest matches I have ever seen. If only he'd had one or two more Archons, ToD could have pulled it off. I don't know. Oh my god. Whew. TLO, you make it through. I am FTV Vladerag, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.